Hey, what's up, all you party animals? What up, dudes? It's a new day. Hopefully, you're having a good day. My day's going okay. I'm a little late getting started. I just don't have any energy, bro. This cold is just suppressing my energy. Like, I slept plenty. It's just sucking the life out of me still as I recover, I guess. So we are picking up where we left off. Where else do we pick up? Um, and I was getting like anxiety a little bit about like making sure what we're doing is necessary, and like I just want to be done with this so badly. It's just part of me that feels like this is never gonna be over, and my brain's like, quit working on this because it's never gonna be. But you know, like there's mixed feelings here. I'm close to being done, but at the same time, I'm very paranoid about making sure like I don't want to waste any time. You know, I want to finish it, so I'm like, I want to make sure what I'm doing is necessary. There was a couple functions, or at least one function I made. Just in general, I didn't think it through, I guess, good enough, and this whole function, basically, I don't think I'm going to end up using, which is unfortunate because I spent a couple hours doing it. No point in spending a lot of time talking about that, right? It's not going to gain me anything. So, just want to make sure, like, I don't do that again. I got pretty good about not doing that, but it happened. So, just, like, got that paranoia about, like, am I doing what I need to do? Like, is this necessary? And I want to say, yeah, like, I think we figured out a really good system for saving and loading in the data. It's pretty simple. It's not like that complicated. It's going to happen once per while loop. We already talked about that. And so last session, we ended up making this function, modifying it rather, to basically account for all the different like objects, to handle them specially, because some of them need to be specially handled to like extract certain data from the instances that, you know, we only need a couple things from them. We don't need like the whole object. So I'm also a little stressed out about the fact that I'm not sure about having everything that I'm gonna need. Does this make sense? Like, making sure I save everything that I need so that when I reconnect, it will actually work. I mean, I think I'm just being paranoid though. As long as we're careful about this and we do it correctly, everything should work fine. I think part of the stress just comes from the fact that I know, like, it's a lot. Well, it's everything. It's literally all the data in the game, and I'm just like making sure that this system is gonna be able to do what I need it to do before I continue to like work on it. So yeah, I feel like this is gonna work. It's a big commitment, but like I think it'll work. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna continue working on this. Actually, we're not gonna work on this function per se. We're going to finish making this list of all the things that I need to save. And yeah, so there we go. We're gonna figure that out. What do we need to save? What doesn't need to be saved, etc., etc., and adding that to the list. I don't want to leave out anything. You know, just leaving out one little thing could cause a problem. So we want to make sure we're including everything that we need. Okay, that works. Still Dre, baby. Okay, so let's go ahead. We stopped at line 12 in things to do. Let's go over there. Get started. So we're going through the card file. We're going through file by file, and we're determining which data we need and which data we don't need. And we're just putting yes or no or IDK, and we're going to come back to it and figure it out later, because there's nothing wrong with doing that. So we went through here. We have display layer X, Y as yes, ID, rank, and suit as no. Let me just double check these to, it's always good to review your work from yesterday. So we're going to say display layer, definite yes. That changes. It's variable, so we need it. X, definitely. Y, definitely. ID, don't need that because it's going to be statically, it's going to be the same. When we run setup, it's going to be recreated. Same thing with rank and suit. That's gonna come back naturally. Now, changed from dir check. This one, so this is a little bit different because this pertains to data exchange. So let's go over this because this is kind of important. When we do data exchange, when we receive a card through a data exchange, basically the server's telling the client, hey, move this card here from the deck to the hand. There's special logic to handle how that happens on the client side. Basically, it just lets us know not to exchange the data again on the client side, because it's kind of an automated system. Whenever you move a card, we're assuming that you want to send that data back to the other side. But since this is data that came from the other side, we don't want to send it back again to the server. It's, we just want to receive it, and then we want to say, change from dir check is the switch, basically, that says, don't send this data back to the other side. So it is very important, but the question is, do we need it? Do we need to save this data? I would say no. I don't think we do, because as I'm remembering, change from dir check is triggered derivatively. So all you need is the received data, which tells you to append or pop a card or whatever. Whenever you receive this data, it runs through dir check and applies the data, and it will call that particular method, append or pop, and inside of that method call, it will trigger the changing of dir check. So this is something, but then you say okay, well, what if we disconnected in the middle of that procedure? Well, it doesn't matter. We're not gonna, remember, right now we're not worried about restoring perfect up to the nanosecond state. We're worried about restoring state. It's gonna be pretty up to date, but it's not gonna be to the you're gonna lose a little bit of data, probably. Just a little bit, though. Not enough to really be able to cause you to be able to cheat at the game by manipulating that fact. But what I'm saying is, whenever we revert back to the checkpoint at the beginning of the while loop, it is going to be in the context of not having yet gone through this section of the loop, if that makes sense, where change from dir check would be triggered. Now, on a side note, this does make me feel like I need to address the issue of like, well, we already established this actually, and this is gonna be like, I think I already have this in things to do. This is coming together, and I'm remembering the way that we do this. We need to make sure that we are like, so the server sends data to client. Client begins while loop. While loop receives data through the receive section. But at the beginning of the while loop, it creates a new save checkpoint. Bam, that's your checkpoint. It's going to go back to that checkpoint, all the data from that point in time when the snap happened. Bam, right then, it's going to go back to that, everything. So that's before you received this data, right, and applied it. But the server still sent it already. The server doesn't know that you don't have that data anymore because the checkpoint, you know, didn't catch it. And if you don't make it to the next checkpoint, obviously it's not going to be caught. It's just going to be lost data. So we're going to have logic in place to, when we reconnect, to make sure that the last the last few things that were sent from the server were actually received on the client side. And yeah, that's basically it. So I think we had a thing to do for that, but I'm gonna add it in just to make sure we do it. And we're gonna call this reconnect server side to client side lost sent data. Ensure that we have logic in place to account for the checking of sent data from server side to client side in the case that checkpoint snapshot did not retain the last sent data from server side to client side, i.e. the server doesn't know we disconnected and therefore has no idea it needs to send this data again. So add logic that will ensure we are checking last sent data, or last few sent datas from SS to CS to ensure we are up to date on the client side. Alright, that's good. Now let's move forward. So we're going to continue with this list here. Where are we at here? Bob pickle dumps. Change from dirt check. Alright. Right, so we were taking care of that. So let's why do we have this open? Like, we don't even need this open. We need that open. What do we need here? Where were we at? We're up here, right? Card group dict. Oh yeah, we're in card. And I guess we'll just keep that open over here. And we'll just go back and forth between the two files. No, I'm dumb. We were in things to do. I just closed this, collapsed it. Here we go. Alright. So change from dirt check is going to be no, because derivative. There you go. Underscore x. So internal x, this is going to be no because derivative as well, right? Well, we can just say because derivative. It's not the perfect description, but x, y is when we set the x and the y, it will internally set it will derivatively set those. And same thing with the internal display layer. Now, prior card group name. Okay, let's see. Prior card group name. Is this something that we need to transfer? I think this may be a yes, because I don't know. Let's pull it up. Pull it up, baby. Let's look at this. Okay, the card's prior custom append list card group name uses to determine prior location in custom append list so that the proper visual resituation function can be called. I lost my place. Can be called for the associated card group the card was just popped from. Okay, so I know that, but is transferred only during progression's run reset function to reset cards back to factory settings. Why do we need to transfer that? Why do we transfer it? I don't know. What do we do here? What do we do here, baby? What are we doing? Dirt check. What are we doing? Prior card group names are all set to equal none. Card prior. So this is just setting the card's prior card group name. Okay. Well, what else? So this happens in receiving card group data. Alright, come on Josh, use your brain. Why would we need this as far as saving? Like, is it derivative? Well, is it derivative? So prior card group name is necessary for proper resituation after popping it from a certain place to and appending it to a new place. But do we actually need to save this data, or is this something that would just like change from dirt check where it gets set so being at the beginning of the while loop, which is where the checkpoint is, that's going to be prior to dirt check. Dirt check is where it's set, right? Because that's what this is, what we're looking at right here. This card prior card group name equals received data. And then in custom append list, in the various functions here, we have append, which is what we're looking at right now. This is going to check that card group name. Are we going to set the card group name? Well, we set prior card group, but that's not the same thing. We then do self at item. So we do set the prior card group name inside of append. So like you could say that this is derivative, and since we revert back to a point in time, like we don't restore data. Remember, this is the same thing with change from dir check. We don't need to save this data, I don't think, because it is derivative of an append or a pop, or it's assigned in dir check, all of which will will happen as it goes through the while loop. So I think I have this understood correctly. At the beginning of the while loop, this card, let's say, like either that data has been processed or it hasn't. Like either this assignment has been made or it hasn't. And it's basically atomic, the way that we have this checkpoint set up, to where I don't think we need to save the prior card group name, because the last checkpoint will be in such a state that it will get set when it needs to. So it will be correctly set before it is needed. I don't think we would need to have the prior card group name. Like, it's not going to get checked at the beginning of this operation. And it's like, oh no, we don't have the prior card group name correctly set. Because of the fact of where the save checkpoint is located, the data is reverted to that point in time. And then like after that, then we would run dir check and stuff. When we receive the data, that would, end up assigning the prior card group name. In a rare instance, the most common instance would be appended or popped, and that's when we would set it right here. Or right here. So this is only in pop, really. So I think we don't need it. I think I'm going to go ahead and say I'm pretty confident here that we don't need it. I hope I'm right, obviously, but yeah, I think I'm correct in this. But that makes me wonder then, well, if we don't need that, do we also not need X and Y in display layer? Like, those to me seem of the same sort as prior card group name. Well, I think we would need display layer and X and Y, because that is something necessary for them to be properly displayed when we reconnect, because it's not derivatively set like prior card group name. It's not part of a process per se. It either, like, it has to be set before we can do anything. So I think we do need to load in X, Y, and display layer, because those are naturally set derivatively through an append or a pop. But since we're not actually appending or popping them, we're going to basically try to, like, we're not gonna allocate the cards when we reconnect. It's not like we're gathering all the cards back and then we're gonna distribute them, you know, to the hand and to this guy's hand and to this card group. It's gonna just be like magic, just like how you would expect if like you disconnected from a game and then you like restore back to the game. It doesn't like start from the beginning again and like fast forward. It just magically shows you the progress up until that exact moment that you disconnected. So I think we're right here. I think we don't need this one, but we do need display layer X and Y. So we talked ourselves through it, and I think we got that right. No, I think we did. Let's see. So this is Y because essentially this is derivative. It's not completely accurate, but yeah. Okay, so prior X or prior Y. This, I honestly don't remember exactly. Okay, so we use this in the update. This gets called on each card sprite via game card sprite group update. So that's in draw window main when the screen gets redrawn. Gotcha. Then we have prior X, prior Y. Okay. This is an update as well. It's the same thing. Now we have inside of card movement. So it's checked here. If int of self x, int of self y is not equal to int of self x, a self prior x. So it's compared against the current. So it's just used this one place. And then it's set immediately after in update. Okay. So this is something. If int of self x is not equal to, I think we might need this, because otherwise when we run update to draw the window for the first time, if int self y is not equal to prior x, if it's not equal to it, then that sets it to dirty. And that's what causes it to be, like, it needs to be moved visually. That's what dirty means. So let's just say we don't set prior x. Well, if we don't set prior x, it would errantly trigger it to be dirty, and then it would set, it says if self x self y is not equal to prior x prior y, it would set the prior x prior y equal to. So in that case, I don't necessarily think it would cause a problem. The only problem, quote unquote, that it would cause is the fact that it would set dirty equal to 1 when it's not actually dirty, which would cause it to redraw, which is not a big deal because it shouldn't actually like cause a visual bug, because x and y like isn't, you know, changing or whatever. So it would errantly trigger this on the first run and set dirty to 1, and then it would set, but then it would like basically immediately correct prior x prior y. So I think if we wanted to be like Mr. Clean, we would save it. But I don't think we need to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think realistically speaking it would cause a bug. I think it's good practice to save this sort of thing, but if this sets prior X, and this is just in card movement, so this is derivative of card movement. Yeah, okay. Question, we don't need to update reason, we'll do so derivatively. Yeah, so I would say I don't think we need to. I think it's okay. I'm just worried, like, what if I don't and somehow this causes a bug? You know what I mean? Like, it's not a big deal to save it. We could just save it. It's not a big deal. It's just a tiny bit extra work. Not very difficult at all to do that. Let's see, set dirty to 1. Yeah, you know what? I don't want to be ghetto. If int of self x, int of self y is not equal to int of self prior x. So if it's not equal to it, which it wouldn't be on the first run, it would change dirty to 1. And then it would basically correct itself. And why do we check this right here? Okay, because it converts it to an int, and then this is not converted to an int. This is a float. Okay, this is decimals. Test your mind, baby. Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and say we're not gonna save it. I made the call. We'll be alright. It's not gonna fucking do. So we're gonna say no to that. Technically could cause bug, but like 99% sure safe not to save. I hate having like things like that. Face down image, we definitely don't need that. That's gonna be set automatically. Face up, same. Changed display layer. Okay, so this is, let's see. Change display layer. Let's check it out. Change display layer equals false. Use the boolean switch to blah blah blah. For ensuring that instances when display layer is changed, but the XY coordinate is not. Type bool usage, a boolean switch for ensuring that instances when display layer is changed, but the XY coordinate is not, sub-derivatives to be set to 1 when the update is called new display layer changed to equal to the display layer. Header changed to false. Okay. I'm finishing him. That's what we're doing here. Alright. Self-change display layer. So this is derivative, obviously. This is derivative of display layer being set. So since the checkpoint basically precedes all of this sort of thing, we will go ahead and say well, let me think about this for a second. If we change the display layer, switches on this boolean so that in case when the card display layer has been changed while the XY have not been changed, an update. So all this happens between each checkpoint. There's checkpoint, display layer changed, you get set to true, then update is called, then you get another checkpoint. So it's basically quote unquote atomic. Like, it's not gonna be influenced by our checkpoint, basically. So that means we don't need this if this is the only. Yeah, so here's where it's called checked in update. We just looked at that function. And yeah, so I think we're good on that. We don't need this one. Yes. I mean, no. And it technically could cause bug. Yeah, this one is just no. We're good. Alright, so we're done with card. Okay, so let's go ahead and add each of these. Let's add each of these. I feel like I took medicine. Why do I feel like I need to take more medicine? I took enough medicine. I don't think I need anymore. Alright. Let's add these to the list. And what we're gonna do is like maybe we can, well, we can't do comment. How do we normally do this? Just do like this. Yeah, that's how we do it. Like so. So we're gonna do it like this. P1 hand, P2 hand, P1 name. Go down here. Whoa, dude. Multi-cursor makes me feel like a badass. And I know how we're gonna do this. Okay. Everything is hard when you're programming. I don't care what anyone says, okay? It's not easy. And it must be done correctly. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna copy this straight up, just like that. Bam. Well, actually, all these are no. No, 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 no. The only things that's yes is these three. So we're gonna okay. So this actually is a unique situation because these data points, all three of them, are really accessed through the card rubric. When we come across this entry in the card rubric during iteration through the save function, it is going to inherently save the XY display layer. So we'll just put a little note here that says the things that it handles, right? So this just makes sense. And we always do it in the order of XY display layer. I'm an idiot, dude. Let's do, let's see, X, Y display layer. So it handles, let's do dot X, dot Y, dot display layer. There we go. Dot X, dot Y, dot display layer. So P1 and P2 and P1 name, P2 name, card your dictionary. Okay. So we can just get rid of this. So we're done here. Just put done. And now this one is gonna be. We'll put need NTD. Just need to do. Like, bro, is it really that hard to type? Is it really? Now, I need to remember that this, like, we need to worry about globals and not just attributes. So I just put remember need to save globals as well as adders. Okay, so let's just check card for that just to make sure, like, there's no. Yeah, this file is different. We don't. Like, there's other data, right, that needs to be set for it to function correctly, but the data that it needs is things such as, well, this is a Pygame command. It needs the screen surface. That will be initiated through setup and all that. So we're gonna have to, like, do that, the order of operations. Basically running setup at the beginning will take care of all this. So we don't, this should work fine, just like it does normally when we start the game. Yeah, so we're good here. So we can move on. Now we're gonna go to change attribute list. Let's see, change attribute list. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, so let's open that file up. What is this? Donkey Kong Country Theme Sunday Mix. Okay, so SS or CS. Let's just go ahead and make the list first. I already know we don't need the re-entry lock. It's okay though, we'll just do it like we did. Yeah, that's it. All right. So now let's go through it. So, SS or CS. This one is. Oh god. Why am I still tired, man? This one is. this is set in setup, right? Like, yeah, this is set in setup, I think, at the very beginning of the game. This checks it. So it's checked in a lot of places, but it is actually set in, it's checked here. Wait, is it set? Sorry. Okay, so it's set at the beginning of client. Yeah, so this will happen first. Like, this is one of the first things that's gonna happen. So this, we don't need to set it. We don't need to save it, that is. That's like a static, basically a static thing. It's derivative, it happens at the beginning of the setup. Yep, so we're good here. Yeah. Okay. So I really thought that was 007. So this is gonna be no. Then change attribute list pi client ID. I want to say this is basically the same situation where Signify Wisconsin is making CS data point changes. This is old. I don't even know. Do we even use this? I think we use this. Well, we do. We check it here. Yeah, we do use it. Okay, so it's set. It's set at the beginning of the outer while loop for the menu screen. So whenever they click reconnect to game, it is set. So in this case, we're reconnecting to the game. So it's gonna set that. And wouldn't this also need to be set in the case of not being reconnected to the game? Or is it or is this the only time we need it? So I have a question about this because from my perspective, I'm pretty sure we're not setting this. Okay, so see, normally this gets set either way at the beginning of the game, but the way that we currently have it in the new setup, we're only running it in the case of a reconnect, but that's not correct. So I think this code is bugged. It needs to happen even if we're not reconnecting. Start new game. See, we don't run it during start new game, but like we do need it because we use it during we use it during this section. And this would mess up the apply counter, right? Yeah, this would mess up the apply counter. So this must not have been tested, because I don't even think the game would work with this set how it is currently. It has to be set. Like, it can't, because it's default to none. So it would just remain, it wouldn't enter into the if or the elif. And that would mean it wouldn't increment the apply counter. And that means basically like it would never apply any data, because it checks the apply counter against the expect counter or whatever. So that's like the whole point of the counters, is to make sure, you know, all that stuff happens like in the proper order and stuff, and that we don't miss any data. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this is set in, where is it set? It is set in client at the beginning of the game, and this should happen if we reconnect or if we don't reconnect. So this gets set regardless, but in our case we would be reconnecting, and we already have code that sets it, and this is gonna basically be done before we re-enter into the main while loop or anything like that. So I don't think we don't need to save this, but I do need to add a note that says we noticed that this was not, when reviewing this data point for save system, realized this is not set for whenever it is not a reconnect, and I'm 99% sure it does need to be set in that case as well. Need to add this code. So need to add this code in. Need to add this code. Copy this, paste it right here. I gotta piss like bad, dude. I gotta piss like real fucking bad, bro. Damn. Change it to this spot. So there's gonna be a no. Alright. And I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'll be back. I'm over here. I gotta answer my pants. Taking a break, baby. We'll be back. Hey, alright, dude. Yeah, I had to, victory, I had to use the potty, dude. Use the potty, bro. Alright, we're back. The fuck? Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do some more, but I'm gonna go ahead and go to the gym because I'm feeling just not in it to win it. I think the cold got me down. I need some more medicine and some more caffeine because it's just not there, you know what I mean? But we made some progress, not great. Could always be better, right? What was the last one we were looking at here? The change at, so yeah, okay, so we said no to that. So this is where we stopped. So let's go ahead and put our, and we can just leave it like that and stopped here. I actually like that because that's weird. Okay, so this is a different type of file. It's a text file, so it doesn't do the cool red whenever we do pound exclamation like it does in our Pi files. So we're gonna do 31. So this is line 31. Let's just say we'll say at line number 31 in things to do. And why did I feel like that was just not a lot? So it's gonna be 125. That puts us at an hour. We did take a 10-minute break, so it's just literally 1 hour. That's why I didn't feel like that much, because it wasn't that much. I gotta get my numbers up drastically. Continued working on, we're just gonna populating, there we go. Continued working on populating the database with all the proper objects that need to be saved for use in save state, load state, period. And this is gonna just be save load, game save logic, and save logic part 3. And then we're just gonna go ahead and do our staging, committing, and pushing, because that's what we do at the end of every session. Let's go ahead and copy this shit. We're going to do get branch. There you go. So we're on the right branch. We're at the root of the project directory. We're going to do get commit -m. Paste that in. Bam. Now we're going to do get push, baby. To push that up to the cloud. Pushing it up to the cloud. Alright. That's done. Let's close this. Now we're just going to make a quick local backup. So copy. Back to the backup. Back up to the backup. We're going to delete. We're going to paste. We're going to enter. We're going to double enter. We're going to go to dev mode. We're going to go all the way to the fucking end. The date is the 29th. You already know. Let's change this to reflect that fact. And now we have a local and a cloud backup to our project. Everything's going good. I gotta finish that list so we can hurry up and finish the rest of the logic, and I'm excited because I feel like I'm on the right track again, and I'm not really doubting that. I feel like this is good. So anyway, yep, gonna go to the gym, come back, we're gonna do another hour at least, try to get that 3 hours in today. So I'll see you guys